Hi, welcome to the video. My name is S, and I really love Cyberpunk 2077. I think my love for Cyberpunk 2077 is probably the most established fact about me regarding my YouTube channel. Cyberpunk 2077 was kind of the driving force behind me starting a YouTube channel. I've been unemployed for a little while, I needed a project, and my combination of my love for Cyberpunk alongside my love for just media production in general is why I'm here. Now, I don't just love Cyberpunk 2077. I am a gamer through and through. I have been playing video games since I was, this big. And something that I really enjoy about the modern gaming environment is the idea of collaborations. Obviously, video games have always done collaborations, but it's become a much bigger thing lately. With games like Fortnite in particular making the idea of a collaboration really, really popular. Cyberpunk itself got a collaboration with Fortnite, so you can play as Johnny Silverhand, you can play as V, I think you can get Johnny's Porsche as well as a in-game vehicle, which is pretty cool. And something that I was just thinking about is what other games I would love to see Cyberpunk do a crossover with. I recently started playing Balatro and discovered that Cyberpunk had a card deck in there. That's really cool. I love it so much that I can have cards with Cyberpunk designs on them. So in typical me fashion, I had a look at all the games that I love and enjoy and love to play and tried to figure out which ones could probably be feasible to cross over with Cyberpunk. So I'm gonna share some of those ideas now. Some of them you might agree with, some of them you might disagree with. So let me know your thoughts. Or if you have any that you thought of that I didn't, please let me know, because I would really, really love to know. So the first game that I was thinking about that I would love Cyberpunk to do a crossover with is Overwatch. Now, I am a bit obsessed with both of these games. I am unfortunately an Overwatch player. But when you think about it, there are so many characters in Overwatch that could work with the Cyberpunk characters. Just on the top of my head, you could have Tracer as V, you could have Cassidy as Johnny Silverhand, which works because of the missing arm, Hanzo as Takamura. One that I liked the idea of was Ash and Bob being Rogue and Adam Smasher, respectively. That would be so freaking cool. I do realise though that this is all like the DPS roles. You could also do Hazard as Adam Smasher, you could do Reinhardt as Adam Smasher. There is just so many cool possibilities of crossover between these two games. For other characters, you could have Ana as Old Rogue, you could have Sombra as Judy, perhaps. Obviously having someone like Judy as a crossover skin is a bit of a far reach because you typically go for the more iconic characters, so your Rogue, your Johnny, your V, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that Overwatch would be a great game to cross over with Cyberpunk. Overwatch is meant to present this whole futuristic utopia, but there's actually a bit of a dark side to it. So I think just thematically, it works really well, and I feel like there would maybe be a bit of a crossover between the fan bases. Maybe not. Maybe that's just me projecting. Anyway, Overwatch and Cyberpunk, I think it'd be so cool. Another game that I think would make a really good crossover would be the Forza series. To my recollection, they've done crossovers before. I have some recollection of them doing a crossover with Hot Wheels. Maybe I'm wrong. Cyberpunk has a lot of really cool vehicles in it. You have obviously Johnny's Porsche, you have the Caliburn, the quartz vehicles that you see quite often in the Badlands, that kind of thing. I feel like putting some of the Cyberpunk vehicles into Forza would be really freaking cool. So this could apply to any of the racing game. I don't know what other racing games are popular at the moment. Is Need for Speed still good? Do people still play Need for Speed? Anyway, I just think Cyberpunk cars would be really cool in a racing game. Moving on, another one that I came up with that I was fascinated with the idea of was Hitman. Where you play as Agent 47 and you go around and you kill people in a variety of ways. Sometimes you're really smooth with it and sometimes you're just bumbling around like an idiot. That's how I play the game. An Arasaka Tower level in Hitman. Just think for a second about how cool that would be. Hands up, I do not know if Hitman has done collaboration levels. The last time I played Hitman was quite a few years ago. I believe they've released a new game since I last played it, so maybe they have done collaborations. I'm not too sure. I just think that setting Agent 47 out into Arasaka Tower to go murder some Arasaka CEOs or whatever would just be a lot of fun and very cathartic after, you know, everything that happens in the game. Not only that, I mean, we have a canonical layout of Arasaka Tower, so it'd be a really cool way of letting players interact with that environment in a whole new way, because obviously the only way that we interact with it in the game is basically storming it at the end, unless you do the corpo path at the start, but even then you don't get a lot of time to appreciate the landscape. So I think that playing a Hitman level based in Arasaka Tower would be really, really fun. So those are all the ones that I wrote down. However, I did have a few other sort of ideas that are less serious. Now, I don't think this would be in the game's MO, because I don't think they do sort of adult collaborations, but I would be really intrigued to see a Cyberpunk 2077 level in Power Wash Simulator. I simply think it'd be very intriguing to have a storyline of you being the person who has to clean up after one of the various mercs runs through an Arasaka office block, or runs through a camp full of gang members and you have to go clear everything up. I think that'd be really fun. Honestly, the possibilities are endless. You just have to think about any video game that's on crossovers and think about how the Cyberpunk characters could translate into that world. I mean, Apex Legends would be really cool. Even something like the Call of Duty games, you know, they've done a lot of crossovers recently. At some point, didn't they make Nicki Minaj an operative? If we can have Nicki Minaj as an operative, I feel like we could have, you know, Johnny Silverhand or V. So that's just the kind of thing that I've been thinking about this week. Seeing as Cyberpunk has been talked about quite a lot more lately, it's definitely sort of picked up in popularity in the last few months. I would really love to see the game just get some more collaborations in different games. It was really cool to see Fortnite bring their crossover back, especially with the female V skin, so I'd be so intrigued just to see how other games could make a crossover work. So I'd really love to hear your thoughts on this, about what other games you feel like Cyberpunk could effectively cross over with. So let me know down in the comments and we can have a little chat about it. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope you've enjoyed my little ramble today. If you liked the video, I'd appreciate a like and a comment. And if you liked it that much, maybe even a subscription to my channel. Helps me out a ton. But if not, just thank you for watching and hopefully I will see you in the next one.